Okay, here we are ready to start the central nervous system. So let's look at some of the things that help protect the central nervous system. Remember, the central nervous system is what integrates and tells us commands. We are very protective of that. We have a vertebral canal that is a ring of bone. If you look right here, the spinal cord is in the center of the vertebral foramen, and then bone is around it all the way. Also, attaching these in this area, the processes, are vertebral ligaments. Then we have the meninges and the cerebral spinal fluid. Remember, cerebral spinal fluid, I usually call it CSF, and it is connective tissue. The meninges are actually three layers of connective tissue which surrounds the central nervous system. In the brain, they're called the cranial meninges, and the spine, the spinal meninges, and there's three layers. Let's take a little bit closer look at the picture right here. Here you can see the three layers right there. This is the outermost layer, and this is the next. This one's the dura mater, this one's the arachnoid mater, and this is the pia mater. So you can see it's one layer on top of another that goes all the way down that vertebral foramen. Here's another view of it where you have a cross section. Let's go back to notes. And you can see that the outermost layer is the dura mater. Think of it as being very durable and tough. It is made out of dense irregular connective tissue. Remember, dense irregular has a lot of strength in all directions. It goes all the way down to this second sacral vertebrae. Now, what that means is if you remember the sacrum that is between the two hip bones in the back, it's the second foramen of that. So it extends all the way down. Between this and the vertebral column is a cushion of fat, and connective tissue. We're going to find out later and talk about it more. That's actually the epidural space. The second layer is the arachnoid mater. Now, we all know what arachnids are, right? They're spiders. That's the middle layer. And the reason why it's called the arachnoid mater is because it has a whole lot of collagen fibers and elastic fibers that make it look like a spider web on the inside. And then the third is the pia mater. The pia mater is the most inner layer. It lays right next to the spinal cord and is hard to tell from the spinal cord. It's transparent. It has collagen and elastic fibers, but it literally adheres to the brain and the spinal cord. This is where the brain and the spinal cord gets all of its blood supplies. That's where most of the blood vessels are. And there's a space in between the pia mater and the arachnoid mater itself, and it's called the subarachnoid space. It contains cerebral spinal fluid. When you have a tap, that's where it is. They usually tap between the third and the fifth lumbar vertebrae. If you we go back to the picture right here. Here is the arachnoid mater again. Okay, remember this is the dura mater. Here's the arachnoid mater. And then right here is that fluid, that dark blue fluid right there. And that is cerebral spinal fluid. And then that's the pia mater. So the arachnoid space is between that. If we go back here, this is the epidural space right here that has fat and blood vessels in it. You can see this is the dura mater. This is the epidural space, and this is the bone. So it's literally bone. Oh, sorry. It's literally bone, epidural space, dura mater, arachnoid mater, and then you have the fluid, which is a subarachnoid space, and then the pia mater right next to that. We look at this one. We can see the same layers in the brain. Here's the brain itself. This is the, this is the pia mater right next to the brain. Here is the subarachnoid space. You can see even it looks kind of cobwebby in there. This is the arachnoid mater, and then here, right next to the brain, or next to the skull, I should say, is the dura mater. And these are actually called dural sinuses in there that allow blood to return back to the circulation. I'm going to stop there with that, with those layers of the mater, and then we'll start back talking about the structure and function of the spinal cord next section or next session. Bye, guys.